Hi, my name is Tara Shamus, your host of Bit and Chips Live. I am the Marketing Manager Americas for Dormer Pramet. Today we have with us Gareth Puntis. He is our Segments and Services Manager and has been with Dormer Pramet for almost 7 months now. Gareth, how time has flown by.
Yeah, yeah, it feels a lot longer than that, doesn't it, Tara?
Well, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. So I'll let you give a little brief introduction of yourself, your background, and what brought you to Dormer Pramet.
Yeah, excellent. Thanks. So my name's Gareth Puntis. I'm based in the UK. I've been with Dormer Pramet sort of 7 months now. And prior to that, I was with Renishaw for around 11 years. During my time there, I did a variety of roles from product management, project management, managing applications team, and did a variety of things, in different areas. So it was both global roles, European roles, and UK-based roles. What brought me to Dormer Pramet? Well, I mean, Dormer Pramet's really ambitious company. It's got big plans with the merging of Dormer and Pramet, and increasingly so under the kind of new management team. So yeah, really ambitious plans, which are pretty exciting to be a part of. The role itself was like a really exciting thing to get involved in. So the segments side of things, we've had a segments team in the organization for quite some time now, but we're entering new markets in terms of geographic markets, new industry segments as well. And then the services side of things, it's really a new organization. It's a consolidation of all the services that we have kind of globally under one umbrella. And that brings with it loads of cool opportunities for, a kind of like cross service selling and things like that. So yeah, great opportunity. I'm really excited to be involved.
No, that's awesome. To your point, there's a lot of great things on the horizon at Dormer Pramet that I'm really looking forward to as well. And so in the short time you've been here, so what has been your experience so far with the company?
Yeah, so it's been like a really great welcoming. I think everyone here is super friendly. That's the one thing that kind of sticks out. It's been hugely fast paced. I mean, like I said, it feels like it's been a lot longer than 7 months. But I think that's probably a reflection of the journey that Dormer Pramet's on. So, it's a pretty fast paced company. Things are moving pretty quickly. We're doing a lot of stuff, and you're juggling a lot of stuff. I'm juggling a lot of stuff, and that is life at Dormer Pramet. So yeah, it's good.
Yeah, absolutely. So of all the things that are going on, like you said, we do have a lot of things. What has surprised you the most about the company or your role specifically?
Yeah, focusing on the company, I think there's kind of three things. The first thing I'd say is probably like how connected people who work for Dormer Pramet are with the company. So, I work with a lot of people who've been with Dormer Pramet a long time, and they kind of see Dormer Pramet as like an extension of themselves. They hugely loyal to the company, hugely committed to the company. And yeah, it's kind of, it's always something to keep in mind with whatever we're doing, that the people who work for Dormer Pramet are like the core of really of what this company is, and they're the reason why our customers have such great experience with working with us. People who are kind of always willing to go the extra mile. It's great. It's been brilliant working with the people around me. The kind of second thing that kind of really struck me when I joined Dormer Pramet is how global the company is. And I don't just mean like we have offices all over the place. Everyone has offices all over the place. What I mean by that is actually how, even at a senior management level, pretty much everyone's from all over the world. So we've got people on the senior management team from Asia, we've got people on the senior management team from Americas, we've got people on the senior management team from all over Europe. And also it's a really diverse team. So, in all levels of the organization, we've got, pretty close to 50-50 split, I think, with men and women, at least that I've come across. And I think that's pretty rare in this industry, particularly. historically I've worked in manufacturing, like I said, for quite a long time, and it's very male orientated kind of industry. So yeah, it's quite cool to see the difference in Dormer Pramet to other experiences.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree with that. And I do appreciate all your help that you've supported in regards to the IMTS prep. So
Yeah,
you've been
no
a tremendous asset. So thank you so much for that.
Yeah, no
So tell us what does the segment and services manager, what do you do at Dormer Pramet? If you can get into a little bit about the details.
Yeah, so I guess like it's in the title really. There's two kind of aspects to it. There's segments and there's services. So the segment side is really the kind of the business development kind of aspect of it. So segments, we're talking about the various different industries that we target as an organization, and we'll talk a little bit more about that in throughout the rest of the kind of conversation. And then the services side is really, it's not customer service, it's not sales operations, it's really about our service offer. So what are the services that we offer to customers in addition to our products? So the kind of the additional things that make you want to work with Dormer Pramet. So whether it's like vending, or whether it's training, or whether it's carbide recycling, or various other things, there's all those kind of additional service offer elements that make us a good company to work with. So yeah, not customer service, although sales operations, customer service, that's dealt with by a good friend of mine now, a new friend of mine now, Martin, and he does a great job with that.
Yeah. So to expand on that, I guess what would be your main responsibilities, and how does your role impact the company's operations?
Yeah, so it's leading the teams that kind of deliver these things. So it's about like creating the vision, setting the objectives, and making sure we kind of work into the objectives that we've been set by the DPMG or by our management team. It's also about being there for the team and kind of helping to kind of coach and mentor and be there just to support them to create a great environment to work in. So that's kind of the function. It's really about looking at these various teams and looking at how can we kind of create this kind of something more value add that's a bit bigger than just the service on itself.
Okay, no, good. So when you look at the strategy perspective, what is Dormer Pramet's strategy, and when it comes to these different industry segments, and has this changed or has it not changed throughout the recent years?
Yeah, so I guess the answer to has it changed is yes or no, yes and no. If we specifically talking about segments, so like I said, we've had a segments team for a number of years, but so that hasn't changed. We've always focused on certain segments, and we've been very strong in certain areas. So when you look at like railway, when you look at machining large parts for power generation, for oil and gas and things like that, we're very strong in those areas. But there's also we're also potentially looking at targeting new segments as well, so the likes of aerospace and automotive. But how we deliver that, that's unchanged completely. So distribution and supporting our distributors is key to our success. And the real crux of what we're trying to do with segments is about kind of helping our salespeople to support our end user customers and our distributors better, and to become partners rather than just kind of just selling tooling. It's really about making sure that we kind of it's a value add service that we offer.
No, very nice, very nice. So if we were to pivot from the industry segment focus to more the service management focus, which you also support, what does the service management involve at Dormer Pramet? How does that differ?
Yeah, so this is like really exciting what's going on with services, because like I kind of implied earlier, services previously has not been under kind of one kind of umbrella organization. So it's been scattered around in different parts of the Dormer Pramet organization. So what it really involves is about kind of ensuring that we offer these services in a kind of linked and combined way. We can kind of look at it from end to end services. So and then there's some like really exciting elements that when you look at the digital offer and Industry 4 and how we can tie that in. So we've got new services coming along. We've got kind of carbide recycling. We've got the data matrix project, and Christian Busk, who's part of the team, he's going to be coming on to Bits and Chips in a few weeks' time, I think, and he'll kind of be going into those areas a bit more. But really, I think it's about finding that kind of common thread throughout the service offer, and I think product data is key to doing that. So it's looking at things like, okay, usage of our tools right from the start, CAD CAM systems, how do we get our data in there to help people, through to, okay, you've got a data matrix now on a tool, which is something that we're introducing soon. So you can scan the tool, you can kind of have full traceability of that tool from the batch it was manufactured and the data was manufactured, and then through to vending, and so effectively you've used your tool, automatic reordering of the tools, through to like end of life of the tools, it's recycled and it goes back into the process. And it doesn't take much imagination to realize that actually all these things you can kind of at some point in the future connect, and you can kind of say, okay, right, so if for instance a tool with a data matrix code goes into a machine, well, guess what, you can scan that probably, and you can connect that to a job, and you can see whether the machine's been active, or you can communicate with the vending system to place an order, or the vending system can communicate with our recycling program to sort of say that tool's been used and it's ready for collection to be recycled. So yeah, these things are individual services at the moment, but actually the vision, the larger vision, could be how do we connect all the services together. So
okay, no, really good insight and feedback. So how would you take kind of what you said and ensure that the services provided really meets the customer expectations and in align with the company goals?
Yeah, so I mean that's like kind of that's the big piece of this really, and I think that's probably what we are dealing with primarily at the moment. So it's still really early days for us, and it's about making a business case. So yeah, we want to create services that people want to engage with and want to use, but ultimately there's got to be a business case. So we've got to figure out how we can provide these services in a way that it's value add for Dormer Pramet too. So yeah, that's where the thinking comes in, right? That's where the planning and the thinking comes in, because we want to offer these things in a sustainable way, and it's only sustainable if ultimately they pay for themselves. So
absolutely. Well, I'm going to give you a couple minutes to get a glass of water, and I know I've asked you a lot of questions in the last 15 minutes or so I'll give you a little bit of a break. So at Bits and Chips, we like to tell jokes, Gareth. I don't know if you know this. So I'm going to ask a question. I'll leave it to the audience to answer. And if you have a guess, just add it to the comment section. So what's a machinist's favorite type of movie? And you're more than welcome to guess too, Gareth, if you're good at jokes. That was a tough one. No? Okay, the answer is a driller. So yes, I know. Good manufacturing joke here. So before we get back into it, we'll talk about your challenges and opportunities within your role. But let's go to a quick break. We're going to share a quick 45-second IMTS video. As you all know, we'll be exhibiting an IMTS this year, and we hope that you will all be able to stop by the booth and say hi. So we will be back in less than a minute. And we're back with Gareth Puntis. So hopefully you were able to get a quick drink of water during that video. So
I'm English. I was having a cup of tea out in the rain. That's what I was doing.
Are you feeling good? Are you feeling good? No, that's good. And again, we appreciate all your feedback and insights. Absolutely. So, Gareth, with every role, it always comes with challenges and opportunities, right? Regardless what you're doing. So, like I said, I know you've been in this role for about 7 months with Dormer Pramet, but in that time, what challenges have you encountered in your role so far?
Yeah, I mean, with it, whenever you move into a company, there's always a whole load of like a whole new language you have to learn, right? There's like
Learning curve.
There's company jargon and all that sort of thing. So you know, I think sometimes that's the biggest challenge, really, to be honest with you. It's just getting your head around, you know, what people are talking about, because it's things that you're familiar with, but it's just said in a different way, done in a different way. There's different systems and processes. There's all that sort of thing. So yeah, I'd say in some ways that's kind of like the biggest challenge. But I've been really lucky. There've been some great people around me. So you know, I've kind of had to get up to speed pretty quickly. And I think, you know, in a management role, that's expected of you. It's just, you know, you jump straight in and you're right in the deep end. And so I've been, you know, yeah, like I say, really lucky to have some great people, both in my team, but also people who, you know, just in the organization, the wider organization, who've really supported that learning journey. And yeah, so massive thanks to them. I think that most of them know who I'm talking about, but yeah, I really appreciate it. So.
Yeah, you kind of just learn as you go, type of thing. You know, not
you do,
everything.
Yeah, you learn as you go.
And textbook. It's more like literally hands-on training in so many different areas.
Yeah, it's the unknown unknowns. I think that's the thing that gets you, because you kind of you know, you come into a new organization and there are just so many things that you don't know. And I think the key thing to that is just asking lots of questions.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think like questions are great, because the thing about asking questions is that it kind of it makes people think themselves about stuff that they don't know, or not that they don't know, that they already know, and maybe they haven't, you know, by kind of answering your question, then they kind of get the opportunity to rethink that thing, and they tend to come up with really good ideas. So yeah, that's I think that's probably been my experience, really, is the more questions I ask, the more kind of ideas we come up with as a team as well, which is
absolutely. No, very good. I totally can relate to that. You know, and roles that I've had throughout the past years, just not, you know, moving into manufacturing, how many years ago? Over 10 years ago, I didn't know a lot about, you know, the industry. And like you said, I learned by just asking questions. I wasn't shy about asking for help, and that helped tremendously. You know, you know your strengths, and you know your areas of improvement. So, and there's nothing wrong with that. So, more questions, the better, I think,
so many,
because it's all for the good. Yeah, it's all for a good cause, right? For everybody involved.
Yeah. Definitely. I mean, we've all got like strengths and weaknesses and kind of areas that we're good at. And I think that's the really important thing about like any teamwork and any kind of management role, or any you know, project-based role, is about making sure that you've got people who've got the right kind of skills in place, and accepting that you're not always going to be the person who knows everything. And you know, we were talking about IMTS earlier, and my involvement in IMTS, and you know, the key thing there has been about bringing in people like Thomas Hantek, people like, you know, Christian Busk, people like Christian Andart, you know, people who have got loads of experience that can kind of help me in that. And you know, so I'm not you know, I'm not one of these people who thinks I know everything, right? That's why we've got really talented people who work for this company. So
absolutely, very diverse and inclusive. And to your point, we wouldn't want to be in a meeting with, you know, a bunch of Taras or just a bunch of Gareths. I mean, we need to have that, you know, outside perspective, to challenge us to come up with, different ideas. And like you said, we have a tremendous team, and everybody is very graceful and very, opinion. But yeah, it's a great team, no doubt about it. For sure.
Yeah, for sure.
So, when you think about opportunities for innovation, where do you see opportunities for innovation in your role?
Yeah, I think I've kind of touched on this a bit. Like there's a couple of areas. I think really when it comes to our service offer, the key area for innovation is around this digital kind of side of things. It's really about creating that red thread throughout people's experience with the organization, something that kind of binds all the services together and binds the way that we talk to our customers together. And then the second area is kind of linked to that, because if we're really talking about our offer, regardless of whether it's our product offer or our service offer, it's about communication and about making sure that the right communications are available at the right time, that people have access to the right things, that have the right knowledge, we've trained them in the right way, and about making sure that that they can easily kind of access those things, easily speak to the right people. So it's not so much we've got loads of kind of innovative products. That's not my area. We have got great services, and there's service innovation going on all the time. So data matrix, file recycling, all these things are great innovations. They're great services, but I think where I can really make a difference to that is about making sure that actually it's not just something that's kind of released and then kind of goes off into the ether and we don't do anything with it. It's about making sure that actually we get as much as we can out of that, and we get as much as we can out of the people that we've got, because we've got these good people, we've got people with knowledge in different parts of the world. How do we connect those people? How do we make sure that they are kind of sharing information appropriately? And so when we talk about segments, that's kind of really where the strategy is going. It's about making sure that in the past, historically, the segments team was really about having specialist individuals. So we had people who are very specialist in sales, very specialist in design mold, very specialist in these different areas. And I used to have a mentor in this role, and one of his key things we always used to say, you're better off having everyone 40% bought in than having one person 100% bought in.
Right.
And it's the same for segments, right? So if you have information of we can, that person can only deal with high value opportunities. They can only deal with a handful of things, enough things that one person. You have a whole organization who's kind of knowledgeable about, our different approaches to segments, the different kind of parts, different tools, and they have access to the information. Yes, they might not be the specialist, but the reach is so much greater. And then those people, if they have contact with the kind of people who are a little bit more specialist, we can just do a lot more. So that's kind of where I feel like with segments we can make a real difference is about ensuring that everyone has a bit of knowledge and a bit of skill in those different areas, when the different industries, and about the different solutions for the different industries, and it's really obvious where they have to go if they need support. So yeah, that's kind of I think those are the areas really. Product data is key as well. Yeah, for the services. Yeah. So, making sure we have good product data, and I know there are people in the organization who are working really hard on that. So
yeah, absolutely agree. Absolutely. So when we talk about future plans and goals, do you have any short or long-term goals in your role at Dormer Pramet?
Yeah. So I mean, like short-term goals, I think there are a few things that I was specifically brought in to do, with short-ish timescales on those. So things like our vending offer, making that globally saleable. So like the history of Dormer Pramet, we're very strong with inserts in Eastern Europe, Japan, that sort of region. We're very strong with the RAM tools in Western Europe and Americas. And so, vending is still a very Eastern Europe kind of business. How do we roll that out globally? So that's a real short-term one. Looking at kind of learning paths and kind of skills for our salespeople through the training team. That's a short-term goal. So, it's something that we're working on right now, and we're kind of putting together loads of kind of different learning paths in our Workday system. But ultimately that will also be rolled out to our distribution. So, we're looking at ways that we can kind of have our distributors interact with the learning materials we create internally through external logins for Workday and things like that. Those are some of the kind of the short-term things. Carbide recycling. So one of the cool things is at IMTS, we're going to have carbide recycling and data matrix on the stand. So, carbide recycling, we're going to be doing a pilot in the US from September. So we'll be piloting, getting some customers on board, getting them to sort of send back their carbide. We'll be, paying them out, and there'll be a global rollout of that in 2025. And then the data matrix is another short-term thing. I mean, there's loads of short-term things, right? And there's also, and then, but yeah, data matrix. So we're kind of getting the data matrix codes on some of our key products. And Christian will be on the stand at IMTS, and he'll be giving some demonstrations of how data matrix works. So, yeah.
A lot of exciting things, short term and on the horizon, definitely.
Yeah.
Even more reason to stop by our booth, right? And
yeah, definitely. Yeah. I mean, those are things in my area of control, but I think they're really exciting, and they'll be on the booth. So,
any final thoughts from you, Gareth, in regards to Dormer Pramet segments and services strategy?
Yeah. I mean, ultimately, like, it's exciting times ahead. So, come on to the booth at IMTS, have a chat with us, find out like what we're doing. There'll be more information to come. So this is really, like we said, 7 months in. So, it's the start, but we're on this exciting journey, both as a company as a whole, really ambitious, plans for the future, but also, as far as segments and services go, we've got some pretty ambitious stuff. So, this is really the beginning. Data matrix, carbide recycling, it's really the start of something much, much bigger. And so, engage with those things, and then keep in mind, like, actually, what we're trying to do is kind of, these are kind of foundational stones for this much wider picture where we connect, data right from start of a process right through to the end. And yeah, come along with us on that journey. It's cool. So.
Agreed. Yes. Well, thank you, Gareth, for your time and insights. And I know we've mentioned a few times now, even more recent, but don't forget to stop by our booth at IMTS to see for yourselves all the great things that Gareth talked about. And we hope to see you soon. So thanks again for joining Bits and Chip Live, and we look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.
Cheers.
Cheers. Yes, cheers.